Hey everyone, it's Stormer here, and welcome to the final episode of Cruxamite. Today, we are going to explore the world, see some of the new stuff that people have built since the last episode, and talk about why this is the last episode, and some of the ideas and the underlying story of the server. This is the last time I'm gonna see my beautiful modern house in the savanna biome. This is Brian's giant build that he has been working on. Holy crap, is it huge? Like, dude, this thing has like quadrupled in size since the last time I saw it. Like, look at this. This is his little itty bitty baby Tatooine house, and there's the massive build. Holy crap. Like, it was just an entrance and some outlines and a flat plot. And oh my gosh, this is insane. This is huge. Also, I have no idea how he did that on the roof, but it looks like stars. It's so cool looking. And there's two other gigantic rooms. Imagine the amount of time it took to get all these materials. And then he built a second story on top of it. This freaking insanity. This kid is crazy. Ryland's base is still as good looking and unfinished as ever. Ethan did end up doing a little bit more with his tree. This is cool looking. Holy cow. He's got little platforms. The interior tree build. Tree Kingdom looks the same, but still very cool. Over at Ocean Kingdom, Chase made this giant oriental building, and holy crap does it look good. My gosh, is this detailed. Look at all the different trap doors and colored slabs and lights and fences and barrels, and holy crap. This is insane. And then he has the little ponds at the bottom. This is insane. This is awesome looking. He never moved in it, but man, oh man, that is amazing. Just that view right there. That is insane. We're over at Steven's base now. His house is almost finished. I think all he needed was a bunch of brick for the roof, and then it was complete. But look at this. That is an awesome cabin. The design is so well thought out. The floor plan, multi-story, tons of different rooms. The two fireplaces, really love that. That is a view that you get off your porch. Eli's house still looks the same. The thing he said about the tree prank was he wished I would have put them in the ground because he actually really liked it. So he had to go around destroying all the dirt and putting one more block of log there. Change ship. He was building all the sails out of crying obsidian for some reason. Look at it down here. I followed an ice path that was in the Nether that I've never seen before. And one of the portals it led to is this one. It is an ocean monument. I heard about this project and never saw it. Ethan was clearing out an ocean monument so he could live in it. We never ended up coming back to this far out kingdom. Their gate still looking very cool. And did they end up doing anything else? They did a little bit. They started whatever this was supposed to be. Wow. A ramp that you access from the outside that's gonna go up probably to up here at a lookout or something. That's a really cool idea. I love the farms that they did here. There's a nice tree in the middle of all this. That is really freaking cool. I guess they didn't end up doing a whole lot on the server, but the ideas that they had were very cool. There were two more mini games that I had built on the server before everyone quit, and we never got around to playing them. This one was an ice boat race. 3 people could race at a time, and so you started here and you went and we're flying through the caves. And then you gotta turn it and turn the other direction. It's like drifting around the corners and stuff, going through the caves. And here we go, down through the ice. into the sheet, and then you jump in the water, which is pretty cool. Creeper, get out of the way. And then you're like, oh, which way do I go? There's so many ice spikes, and I'm getting stuck on everything. And wow, I found the way. We're going. Then you gotta keep going down and down and down and further, and there you go. There's the end. Took quite a bit of time to build, not the shack itself, but the whole track, making sure you didn't get caught on random corners and then also digging out all of it. I found this iceberg and was like, that might be big enough to make a track on, and so you jump down there, go all through here, this cave, which I thought the end rods kind of look like icicles, and also the blue stained glass works really well too. You go through this cave and there's some holes peeking out, like that is a view. This is all natural. There was just a water pool in here, and I was like, how about we integrate that into the ice boat race, because you're in boats already, so you'll just float on top of the ice. So you just dig out this ravine for the water, and then it made a cool ice spikes area, and then you just spin on down the rest of the cave to the finish line. I think it turned out very well, and it would be very fun to race people. The other mini game I made was an underwater race. You get your depth strider boots out of here, and it starts as soon as you go through this ring. Keep on swimming. But it's very cool how you go through all the coral. You come out of the reef and go into the kelp, and then you have to go down into the ravine, down through the ravine, and then back up, swimming by the fish, and then back into another coral reef. Very cool. Just zoom tight corner, going through and back into the kelp, and there's the finish line. You could either do it as a timed race, where you just started a timer as soon as you went through the first gate and then ended as soon as you went through the last gate, or you could get a bunch of people all lined up at that gate and then all go at the same time. Back at where it all started, the treehouse. The server really only lasted about 2 weeks, and that was because everyone went to go play Cold War and Valorant, and they just never came back to Minecraft, which is kind of sad. It's fine if you go play those other games, it's just we had something going on here, and we just had the big thing of Chaos's End being like, oh, we want war, and then all the other factions being created, and how we're gonna stand up and defend against Chaos's End. It was just starting to get good. And then everyone left. It really stinks, because we had plans for more bases to build, there were plans of war, there were plans to play the mini games that I showed you today, plans to build more mini games, plans for story stuff, and we never really got to any of it just because everyone quit. That's why this is the last episode of Cruxamite, is because no one's gonna play it again. We did have one whole story that we were gonna play through, that we were going to be a part of. I'm not gonna tell you guys that one because we might save it for a future server. But the story that all the players created together, that's the story that I'm gonna talk about right now. The story that I imagine that Avantis and Cruxamite and the future ones have is that there was a group of people that got shipwrecked on this island. They survived on this island, they built buildings, and their feuds they got over with through the gladiator games. And eventually, I made a boat, and we all got on that boat and headed off for new land. And we came across this giant island. We probably shipwrecked on this island too. And on this island, there were more people already there. And so we started building up our buildings and houses across the world and getting geared up. And then the faction started to be made. Chaos's End, that one fateful day, decided that it wanted to declare war on every other faction on this island. And another person in a boat came across this island, that would be Shane, and that brings us to where we are in the server right now. What I imagine happened after was war broke out. Chaos's End stirred up a bunch of trouble, started a war, a bunch of kingdoms started fighting them, and I think that Chaos's End would have won. That would make it very interesting, because that leaves all the other kingdoms, except for the one way off in no man's land, all destroyed, probably by withers, by TNT, by whatever, and everyone who was in those kingdoms, all their gear stolen or destroyed because they were killed over and over and over. It leaves the world in chaos, which is exactly what they wanted. Because everyone has no gear, we are forced to do whatever chaos wants us to do and follow their rules. They probably let us just live in the land, and over every day they would just keep destroying all the progress that we made. And eventually we would get smart and we would store stuff underground where they couldn't steal it or find it. And we would end up making some underground secret society where we're living hidden from the tyrants. But everything we did had to be kept secret from them, because if they found out about all the underground secret society stuff that we were keeping from them, they would wipe out the entire rebellion we were starting. Some of it fills in the gaps of how Avantis started and how we got from Avantis to Cruxamite. Maybe the story afterwards will completely change in the next server. Maybe some of it will actually happen in the next server. And who knows how the story is going to connect to the next server. The next server is going to be when 1.18 comes out. Now, before then, we're going to be doing a modded server, but I'm not sure if that's going to connect with the story or not. Maybe it's going to be a completely different story in an alternate universe. We're ending the server where it started, in the treehouse, with the subscription bell. Ding that bell, ding, 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 ding. And as the sun sets on this world, a new world is about to begin.